Hi, I'm Seamless, and today is Tuesday, which actually by my schedule means that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing right now, which is to say, sound design requests. I did a few today. The first one was a request for a Reese from a Black Sun Empire track. I believe it was from Arrakis. It was during the drum rolly Philly bits, and as it turns out about this particular part, there was just kind of a sound like that. And then there were drums. But like the thing about this sound is that it is a pretty regular Reese. I have 2 saw waves they're detuned. I have also another side wave in there to detune just for fun. And some noise also to kind of cloud it up, distorted the shit out of it. And then this EQ did all the work. This big old notch and turning down the higher frequencies is what makes these sounds. So when you hear something like that, it just sounds like, oh, it has this big hole in it. Why I want to create the hole? They just make the hole. It's pretty straightforward. The next sound was somebody who wanted to do a hardcore kick, not necessarily hardstyle. I went and found a kick, and then I distorted it. I'm actually not going to put this in the project because I don't own that sample, so I can't give it to you. Distort kicks. This was a sound used in a Barely Alive track, but this is just anyone who's ever used a sound like this ever. It's fun because I actually really only recently discovered how to do this for real. Like, I have ways that I would do it with a lot more complex, just stupid shenanigans with FM and whatever. But as it turns out, it is a lower sine wave and a really high sine wave distorted together. And then you change the pitch of the higher sine wave as you see fit. And that's it. That's all there is to it. Nothing else. This is me trying to do a much more complex twine sound. And I actually kind of did it. But, I mean, much like the double side wave sound, I probably overcomplicated this a bit much just by the fact that I did it with different, what I'm assuming are very different tools. I did kind of a lot of layering here, though. I have a more regular kind of vocally sounding FM thing here, but what I've done is that while it is the correct octave in terms of the pitch ratio, I'm playing the first harmonic as if it's the lower harmonic. So I'm creating a square wave type result as doing that there. It's a vague with the higher harmonics creates vague vowel-y tendencies. And then I made an entirely different operator 3 mess. This is kind of how I normally do the ring modulation business to make it sound sharper. I did operator 3 into FM filter 1, which I have a band stop going on, and I'm automating it. Yeah, right there. And 4 is just a big mess. It's a big mess with the different phase changes and different waveform, whatever, just to make a huge mess. And then operator 5 is ring modulating it. Ring modulating operator 4, so that it's determining how fast on and off it's being turned on and how much of the waveform it is that mess. And when it's a short amount of the waveform that is that mess, it makes it sound a lot sharper. So that's why I did that there. And then operator 6 is noise. The filters has is the band stop. It's creating one. Actually, this is just FM. It's creating this big hole in it, and then it's going into another one, which is just what did I do this for? It's good. Next. This is a low pass. I guess I want. Oh yeah, it's because this is just the noise and the sharpness going into these guys. So I'm kind of reining it in a little bit, and then the vague vowel-y nature, which by the way sounds like this by itself. And then that's being put in an EQ before the distortion, and it's being distorted, and then there's another band stop being modulated here. And then I have a separate sub coming in together, and the limiter just kind of stop it from peaking. That's what I did there. It was probably a much simpler massive patch originally, but I don't really like massive. This was a WW sort of festival trappy Melbourne bouncy thing lead. It's a saw wave, some noise layered together. The noise is high passed, really high. It's also very slight. And then the saw wave is also high passed, but it's also just that's because I was originally playing it lower, but it's just a higher saw wave. really short reverb at the beginning, EQ before the distortion, and then distorted really high. This is determining kind of like, you know, the overall character of it. And then the EQ after the distortion is kind of further shaping sort of the profile of it. And then there's a big reverb at the end of it, which is doing it all. Here's the beginning reverb right here. How you can do that? And then here's the outgoing reverb there. That's what that is there. That is there. This is the attempt at a Pegboard Nerds track song, which I took to be a variation of the Every Dubstep song with a filter. And it's close, but there's still some kind of specialness to that particular sound that I didn't really nail. So, you know, I'm not totally sure how valuable that sound is. This was a frequent sound, kind of. It was part of a frequent moment, I should say. Frequent in his tracks, and then this is very much particular in this track. Likes to put kind of the Foley stuff all over like the kicks and the snares and the bass hits and that kind of thing, and blend them together to make very interesting sounds. And I did none of that. I did the part that I identified as being the synthetic moment, which may or may not have been actually what happened, but I decided to do what I did, and I ended up with real simple shit. Almost entirely square, a little bit of a filter. Although the one thing that isn't simple is the fact that I wanted noise in this sound, and Harmor doesn't have a noise generator. So I made Operator B into noise. Kind of. It still has like a harmonic tinge to it. Basically, I turned it to octave mode instead of hertz mode, which means that the harmonics are not being played in Fourier series anymore. They're being played in even distribution all the way up to the top. And that makes it not very harmonic. And if you do this, I don't know what the hell is wrong with my accent right now. If you do this, with the screw on the phases and the hertz mode, you just send this all the way up, all of it, whatever. Just made this the washiest wash that ever washed. I also got rid, like, in the local EQ, I kind of carved out a bit of it because the higher ones. I mean, it cuts off at 17K anyway, and they're playing really high notes, so it's not. I'm not super worried about that. But that's how you kind of mimic noise, since that's what noise is. Totally inharmonic mess. And I forgot that I had this on, so that means I turned on. Yeah. Okay. So that's what was up with that. And this last one was me attempting to make a pretty old school staple D&B sound, which in synthetic form sounds like this. But then when you render it out and pitch it down in 2 octaves, you get that, which is what I was trying to do. And what this is I did that, and then I cloned it and I pitched one up slightly more, so to give it that kind of like really detuned business. And that's this sound. I didn't really nail that either, but I've never been able to nail that sound. That's the sound I've been trying to get since I've ever first heard drum and bass in 2004. So I wasn't expecting to. Anyway, this project will be available for download. You can pick it up in the description of this video. Also, you can have a recording of me crumbling Doritos in the mic and such. If you have any questions about any of this, let me know. As usual, have a nice day.